Hey everybody, Cynical Manor here. Today we're in the MiG-21 Bis, or also known as the fish bed. This could be a cold start on how to get the aircraft up and running. And we'll take a look at the outside real quick. It's a Delta Wing design, so she does pretty good. She flies fairly well. She does slow down pretty bad on a turn. But we'll get into the cockpit here and we'll get started. So if you look over on the right hand panel, there's three switches. You got a battery switch and two inverters. I'm going to go ahead and turn those three on, or battery heat. You're going to look down on the right hand panel again, and there's going to be a battery power, a DC power, and then you got three fuel pumps here in the front. Turn all those on. You're going to look to the left over by the gear switch, and if you come to the left of it, there's a generator APU and there's a fire extinguisher. We're going to turn those on. We're going to look down here at the throttle. At the bottom there's a switch there. That's going to throw the throttle into the idle detent. Some people do say give it a little minimum. You can leave it at the back. She'll fire up just fine. Okay. Then the next thing is we're going to go over to the normal start, and we're going to hold that down for about 3 seconds till we hear those engines spool, and we can let off. So now that the engine's coming online, we can go ahead and close the canopy by clicking on this little deal up here. We'll come over here, we'll throw this handle, and we'll seal the cockpit. And that's a chemical seal to keep any biohazards outside of the cockpit, just like on the hind. Alright, and then there's a lever here above the gear lever. We'll need to take that off. Otherwise, we won't be able to raise the landing gear when we go to take off. Now, you can wait till you're on the runway if you want to do it. I tend to forget. That's why I do it now. Okay, so while those engines are coming up, everything on this panel here, we're going to go ahead and start up. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and turn on the gyros, right and left. And we'll turn the AC ground power on. Okay, and then we're going to flip all these switches here. Turn this one over to bright. That's our outside lights. Now when you get down to this bottom portion, camera. We don't want that cam on. I'll throw it on, but you can see it puts a big camera right here. You can turn it on if you want to, but I like to keep it off. Then we don't have all that crap right there. Okay, so we're going to move up the panel here. We're going to go to the radar. We're going to turn that to standby. Turn that on to low altitude or off. Oops, we'll turn it in the middle. Leave the switch alone. Going up here, we'll turn the IFF on. Skip this next switch. Turn on the IFF system and the RWR. Okay, then we'll come over here and we'll flip this switch and that one. That'll turn your HUD on here. And we'll come around, we'll turn on our pitot heat, and that should be about it. Oh, and we'll want to put our flaps in the takeoff position. And you can see outside that we've got those in the takeoff position. So at this point, we are ready to rock. Pretty easy jet to start up and get going. I'm not going to go ahead and go over the weapon systems today. This is a cold start. We'll visit other things in the future. Alright, so looking over here by the gear handle, we're going to go ahead and turn on our taxi lights. And this aircraft taxi is a little bit different than most. It's off of a brake design. We have a hand lever brake here. When we give it right rudder, we'll also hold the brake and it'll start to turn. So a lot of throttle to begin with to get her moving. Then we can back that back down. right rudder, and right, and give it brake. Little throttle here. Right rudder again and brake. And it takes a little bit to get used to taxiing with this plane, but it's not difficult. And we're going to give her some left rudder and brake, and we'll get on the center line here, the runway. Alright, we're going to hold the brakes. We're going to give her full throttle. And release. And once we get to about 300 knots here, or kilometers, we'll start to lift off. And she's a little squirrely, so trying to explain, and we'll go ahead and lift up on the gear. One thing I did forget to mention, once the gear is up, you get 3 red, the gear lever will stay up, so you have to put it back into the neutral position. Otherwise you will use up your hydraulics, and you won't have any brakes or be able to put your landing gear down later. And we'll go ahead and put up those flaps as well. Trim her down twice, maybe 4 times. Come back on the power. And we're flying. You know what we forgot to do? I always forget this. Forgot to turn on our landing light. That's okay. So hopefully that helped you get this thing up and running. She's pretty easy to get started. And in the future here we'll be visiting other things like landings and combat, air-to-air combat, air-to-ground combat. One cool thing about this plane that most here in DCS don't have is this has the capabilities of carrying a nuclear device, or a nuclear bomb. So that's pretty cool, and we'll be going over that as well. But this is just the first video of the series, and we're finishing up on the Hind on the other series. And I figured I'd dive into another Cold War airplane, and I'm going to try and keep, in the future, if I can, if time allows it, I'm going to try to keep two planes going until we kind of catch up to things. We got so much stuff new coming out, I've got to do 2 videos at least at a time. That way we're not going to miss out on the new things. And I still got to go over the new Mirage F1 that I've yet to go over. I did a startup video on that, but I've got other things to do on it as well. So I'm really behind, but we'll get there. And I appreciate all the subscriptions lately and all the comments. Keep it up, keep watching, keep leaving me comments, give me some likes, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.